Alrighty, getting started here. Team Liquid versus LNG. Both of them, well, actually, TL coming off getting their first win of the tournament yesterday against Mad Lions. LNG not doing so well going into, I believe, Edward Gaming yesterday against Gen G yesterday. So, but TL actually getting a win over Mad Lions. So right now we're actually in a circle of who's beating who here, because Mad Lions have beaten Gen G's beaten LNG, and TL has beaten Mad Lions. So who will be actually on top of the entire group by the end of today is kind of the major question here. So let's jump on into the champion select. Lucian and I really going to be banned out. The Yuumi and the Lee Sin being taken out as well. So ruining or removing those first pick viable options. We did get to see a good bit of power out of the Yuumi earlier today. Especially with if it's paired with such players and such characters as Kiana, LeBlanc, Talon. The cat is very potent in the meta right now. Now we have the Rice being taken out here for Icon, and Jensen probably even self-denying there a little bit. But this is actually pretty standard so far. It's been pretty standard. Nothing too crazy. That seems mildly viable, Dracos. I just don't think the Poppy's gonna be able to get onto the Yuumi all that easily. Very alright, so interesting pick there. So Miss Fortune gonna get her ban, or at least going to get banned out here, which is now leaving actually Aphelios up. And here we go. So here comes the play-in meta, at least the play-in's preference for, I believe, more of that lower bracket scrim meta. And Leona is your first pick here for Core JJ, which should bode well. The tankiest support we have in the meta right now, with the best range of engage. And LNG counter with getting two of their major carries secured. It's going to be the Aphelios and the LeBlanc, Icon and Light, going to be safe and secured here. And this could end up actually. Now it's the question of, will TL secure their mid and ADC with these next two picks, or are they looking to actually try to perhaps secure something, or at least put, let's say, Alfari's pick later in the draft and let him have that counter pick, because they've already grabbed here, as you could see, Twisted Fate picked up for Jensen. Twisted Fate's been highly contested from play-ins and all the way through, and I think even what looks like the higher ends of the scrim meta. But this should actually be able to put Jensen quite enabled and quite able to join Santorin on roams. Particularly going to be looks like they're going to be playing through the top side of the map. Tactical being put on this Ezreal sort of speaks to me that they are going to want to play top side. They're going to play around Alfari and really try to get him ahead. Now, LNG going to secure themselves a Thresh standard combo with the Aphelios to keep the mobile hyper carry safe, and Thresh a very good counter into Leona for at least being able to flay her out of her Zenith Blade, but also prevent anyone else from following up on, at least if he gets stunned out with the box. So should be a pretty decent skill matchup. Slight range advantage for the Thresh. But yeah, so not too many wrinkles. Right now it's going to be a question of, do LNG or do they want to try to ban out Santorin, or do they want to try to ban out Alfari? Because I would kind of expect maybe like a Camille ban here. But I don't think Ali is going to really shy away from anything that Alfari wants to throw. So it is going to end up being sort of a question of what is going to be Alfari's blind pick, and what does Ali counter it with? Because if it's like a Camille on Alfari and Jax on Ale, we know Ale is very proficient on that character. So yeah, it doesn't look like they're actually, at least LNG, banning out the Olaf, getting rid of that farming jungle that can just not be stopped and could run straight at Light and blow him up in the early fights. And now Jace going to be taken away by Team Liquid. So starting to limit what Ale can play, and maybe definitely setting up for exactly what Alfari wants in the top lane, or at least what kind of matchup he wants in the top lane. I do not expect that they are going to be moving away from any carry characters or carry opportunities. Could be a Zenjava. No, it's going to be a Cannon ban. So getting rid of the range, the other range top laner, that'd be most likely taken in this match. Major team fighter and could really ruin Light's time, and especially if the Maelstrom catches Light and Iwandi. And now, curious if he's going to be throughout the final pick here. I feel like Emil or Jax are like really destined to play in this matchup. Urgot's like a distant opportunity, and theirs is in Jiaoban. So now there's been a little bit more of a squeeze in the jungle as well as in the top lane. So it's 2 for 2 for each position. And now this, I would think this is going to be a jungle pick for Tarzan here. And he's kind of got everything. He's kind of got a wide variety of what he could do. And I think he'd be okay playing, you know, I was going to say Kiana. But here comes the Ruined King. And it looks like actually Santorin might counter with the Gragas, which is going to be a little rough. It could be definitely very rough into the LeBlanc. The only counterplay, if you can't really get away and break the chain, is going to be trying to body slam into someone. The Santorin also floating on this Talon, which has shown a lot of promise, especially when piloted well and played around quite well. And this does put the roaming pressure topside very much heavily in TL's favor. This is where Santorin's going to be able to move around the map with great speed. And this is going to be, this game just has to feel like it's got to be heading topside here. And after all that, the Jace being banned out's, I guess, a decent understanding, but that's going to leave the Gnar up for Alphari. No crazy top lane picks or counter picks. And LNG, looks like LA might be countering with, he could pick out the Fiora, could have some all-in potential there. I do kind of prefer the Gwen for a little bit better team fighting. Her Hallowed Mist really allows her to just take up more space than the Fiora ever really does. And also provide themselves with a lot of peel and a lot of AoE damage. But LA is going to take the Fiora, and Alphari is going to be in for a bit of hurt here. So now both teams, win conditions are topside here. Tarzan, Icon, LA going to be trying to work themselves up there. And I think Tactical and Light in this game are just going to be left bot side. Just collect your farm, boys, wait for 3 items. And if the game's even gone on that long, we'll need to look to you to really like carry these games out. So it's going to be a lot of, I just sense like once we get to like right around 8 minutes is when we're starting to see teams get proactive in the game. And I'd like to think the pace for that is going to start increasing as this tournament progresses and as teams get more availability to make creative plays. I know Fnatic kind of came in yesterday with a very creative play against Hanwha Life that did net them quite a bit of success early on in the game. So it's going to be curious, or at least that's sort of the question. Are either of these teams, TL or LNG, going to get creative with pre 8 minutes, at least around 5 minutes? And they're going to be early ganks. Anyone's going to try to go all in on a fight. Those are kind of what I would be looking for. Otherwise, this is going to be pretty much just going to set the tone for the, I don't know, we're not yet through the first full round robin, but it's going to basically set this group up to be quite contentious if everyone's gotten a win and everyone's gotten a loss, especially if LNG takes this match here. If Team Liquid takes it, that's going to be the best look for NA in a long time here. Team Liquid going 2-0 in the first 2 days of groups here at Worlds would really set up a lot of hope for NA, both with, I believe, how Cloud9's been doing and also with TL showing up and delivering us some wins against some of these Eastern Asian teams. And it looks like we're going to look for some cheese play here topside from Team Liquid. Imagine this ward's going to come out from Tarzan. I believe they're looking for it, but he's going to be able to get it in and get out. And that's going to be that play gone. They don't even get the last auto. That CS kill could have really just allow someone to really swing the fight. And there's no scanners. There's a scanner on Ale, but that's just because Tarzan, is he actually going to find, he's going to find that ward. And he's going to be able to actually clear out that ward that was put down topside by Core JJ. And that's going to be a slight advantage that's going to be at least 1 CS advantage for level 2 over to Ale. And he's backing right now. I guess he's trying to stay safe, make sure he doesn't get collapsed after he gets out of that bush. I guess the rest is just going to be line of scrimmage. Light and Iwandi placing themselves a little bit more aggressively in the lane. It's going to be a little rough for Core JJ and Tactical during the early parts of the laning phase, especially after helping leash Santorin here on the red buff. And so it looks like it's going to be a bot side of the map start for both junglers, which means they're both going to end up top side which is what we expected here. Alfari not on a major carry bruiser sort of champion here in the top lane, but definitely with a lot of potency and ability to split push if he finds himself with quite the advantage over Ale, and also just a greater impact in team fights. And Alfari just gonna have to run away from this one. Gonna get put down to half health. Misses the boomerang. That's gonna be his pot spent out. So Ale, it's kind of with the advantage in this match, and it's gonna be how it's gonna go in terms of a very isolated situation. Ale grabbing the proc there, parried out here. Meganar in play, and now Alfari might have a little bit more trouble. Mm-hmm. That would be super rough if they actually made that adjustment. And now Alfari's gonna lose some CS. He loses the Canyon wave. Canyon minion. That's not what you want there. Santorin about to get invaded on here. He's got both of his buffs. Tarzan has grabbed both of his buffs as well. Santorin's gonna secure it. Now Tarzan's play goes awry. Cannot get the cheeky steal. And topside in the favor of Alfari. It's pushed, like, LA is pushed underneath, and he's got a pretty good sized wave here, but Icon's gonna get the push on to Jensen. That's just gonna mean there's no ability to contest this Scuttle Crab here for Team Liquid. And TL probably just gotta play patient here. They're just looking for this level 6 onto Jensen just to start looking for more plays top and bot side. Santorin actually ignoring the opportunity to take this Scuttle bot side. I'm not sure what he's looking for here. He's coming top side. The wave is pushing in the favor of Ollie's. Might put himself out of position, but I think they're kind of sensing this. There's only the Scuttle Crab. He's going to be able to actually grab this Scuttle Crab here. So this is the creative pathing that I was talking about. I'm not sure it's really going to net Santorin much of anything. It's going to give at least maybe a little bit of confidence over to Alfari to step forward and aggressively trade. And that sun's going to come out and be traded through. Santorin's going to show himself, but there's not much he can really do or get done. And Tarzan's arrived, and this is not exactly the kind of positioning you want to be in. He's going to leave one little Scuttle Crab there for Tarzan and then just run away over the pit. So that's actually the pretty ease of access there. And the rest of Santorin's camps are still up. He's actually even CS with Tarzan right now. So it's not too bad. Level lead is not too large. Bot lane's losing out a little bit. Now Jensen might have to keep himself overextended. The wild card's going to help him actually net a few more here. He's going to have to get the gold card out. Dodges the stun. He's going to be able to hit and chunk Tarzan down to half. So, yep. Jensen's still showing those fancy feet that he has had since forever, it feels like. Oh, that Canadian nonsense, boy. It's Peppermint Lane, gosh. We've gone to Candy Lane, guys. We're back in kindergarten. At least I'm back in kindergarten. I don't even know if board games are alive and well in there. Level 6 from Alfari. He's actually gotten the level lead over Ale. Like, may not have expected this just because of Ali's ability to all in. But I guess the range part of the matchup has really put Alfari in an advantage. He's 10 CS over Ale right now. No one's even died. So actually, this top lane is going really in Alfari's favor here. It's been in his control. He's not been able to. Ali's not been able to push the wave to where it's actually gone and put Alfari in a compromised position. Maybe a slight hint of a gank from Santorin earlier, but all Tarzan's actually doing is just farming as it is, and yeah, nothing too spicy there. Bot gone at least a little bit in favor of Light and Iwandi. Not too surprised with at least the advantages with the guns, the early guns that Light had, and Iwandi is, range, so he could actually trade out a little bit easier than Core JJ. Core JJ, if he wants to trade, he has to throw like a Zenith Blade in, proc his Aftershock, and hope that they actually win the trade out, and that's just not likely with an Ezreal. He's got Sheen, but he really does need more out of that. LNG going to grab the first Drake. So 7 minutes in here, we're going to actually have a quick pace for this game. Pretty good stuff there. Core JJ going to be spotted on that control ward. Alrighty, I guess Core JJ evaluating that no one's coming to invade the jungle. Hoping they find an opportunity, but I think everyone's just gonna be playing quite passive. Like, everyone's pretty happy to like scale into the late game. Talent going into the late game is not something to be trifled with, at least mostly like the mid game. Once he starts to get his items, his ability to just make people just get blown up and bleed is incredibly high. Looks like we reached the second set of Krugs for Ale. And Alfari with the push into the lane. Now winning by like 20 CS over Ale right now. And that is not on what we expected here. Proc going to be gained. He's just trying to stick around, trying to get just enough minion damage. It's not actually going to hit. Throws a rock, spell immune, jumps away from the riposte. And Jensen getting a little trade. Icon lands the electrocute. Yep, but this river is in control, is in TL's control right now. All right, looking at this now, so it's a 400 goal lead for Alfari right now. The XP is kind of what I was really noticing at one point. Mid lane's dead even, 300 goal lead in the favor of Santorin. He's just going to farm better than Viego, especially after those nerfs. Bot side, did not get to see that, but still a 22 CS, 20 CS lead for Light. So this is going to be a very, very stable game so far. We're at 932. The spiciest thing that's happened is, the first Drake was taken. This could be a blue buff trade-off here. Maybe they're looking for good items here. Because now I really think just with how, once Alfari basically picked like this, champion, I think that sort of just provide the means or the communicated what TL needed to win. They're going to need to worry about Light. They're going to need to worry about Tarzan resetting, and Ale, if he like gets a flank, but his team fighting will be less than favorable. But I think what they're really looking for, or at least what they're going to be looking for, is going to be just getting Ezreal online. And it's going to take him 3 items to get online. He needs that Frozen Heart. He needs the Trinity Force or Divine Sunderer. And he's going to need the Mana Mune finished as well. Transform into the Muramana. Now Santorin actually going to get some movement here, but LNG are unconcerned about that. The riposte does not connect, but there's four members of LNG topside here. Jensen has teleported in. Tactical is on the way. He's in the mid lane right now. Riftshell gets reset, and I think we might actually be entering a 5v5 fight here. Looks like China is avoiding it. LNG is avoiding this fight. Which feels a little bit off-brand. Okay. Well, Tactical could come over to help finish this one off. Just a little bit more. Okay. So TL, they get the first Herald. They can use this. They've got about two minutes to actually use this Herald, so they need to use this real fast. I don't think they're actually really going to get too easy of an opportunity. I think top lane with Alfari may be the best opportunity that they have, because Jensen is not getting priority in this lane. He's gotten he hasn't lost any turret plates, but he's definitely taken some hits on that turret. Yep, Core JJ is about to get caught here. Oh, he's going to get rooted up here. Box is not proc. He's going to flash away. The heal's going to come out too. Now Tactical is going to head forward here. Jensen also in the area is Destinied in. And I don't think they're able to catch anything. Here comes Icon. They see him on the ward. Yep. Get in, get out. Still, a little bit of a bridge, or at least a bridging of the CS difference here. And now Ale is going to start actually owning this lane, I believe. He's gotten his spike. Oh, and here comes Santorin. He's about to get collapsed on. He's going to go invisible. He's going to try to jump away, but the chain is going to maintain. First blood collected by Icon. And that was actually a really, really good play from Icon. Gets the chain before Santorin can hit ultimate and go invisible. And then is just able to just follow him all the way to the end of his jump, of his escape. Mm-hmm. Herald's going to be used here by Team Liquid. Going to actually get themselves some final turret plates before they go away. So they have been able to keep the gold close here. LNG has actually taken at least a slight gold advantage, only like 1,400 right now. And Santorin going to try to bridge that gap. You're going to take the red buff here. Alfari in the area to help secure. And now Light going to start trying to deny as many minions as they can as they finish off this turret here, this final turret for Team Liquid. All right, so that's the kind of start you need. That's the kind of start you want. Mm-hmm. Yep. And we're going back into this lull state here. 2 Drakes collected by LNG so far. We're still used by TL while the turret plates were still up. Mythics are starting to come through. Gore Drinker finished by Santorin. Have not seen him get much else done on the map here. And Corjade going to try to get out here. He's actually going to be able to bridge it. Icon in the chase here. It's going to be a double proc there from Tarzan. And now it's time to move here. True Sharper Arch is going to come through just to try to get some trade back damage out. And it's going to get really scary, really close. Icon's going to go down. But here comes more. Iwani goes in maybe a little bit too far. He's going to get the secured kill onto Tactical. And now Santorin's arrived. He's going to scare off Tarzan a bit. He's going to flux in. That is not what you want for Team Liquid. There needs to be more playmaking, I think, here. They kind of got caught there, at least found a situation, and then needed to exit stage left, and unfortunately could not get out of it alive. Yeah. This is the exit here. Kobe highlighting just how deep a lot of TL's wards were. Just trying to find some plays. I really like this turn from Team Liquid just to try to get some damage out, try to get something done here. But Icon just with a lot of really good damage able to really secure the situation. Then Tarzan just goes in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ezreal's going to have a really hard time in this match, especially against Aphelios. And Alfari, I think you're about to get caught out here, bud. He's going to gnar Ale away. He's going to flash. The chain actually does not connect. Second chain comes through. It's going to lock him up here. He's about to run out. He's going to get the stun off onto one. He's going to repost away. And there's not much counterplay coming in from Team Liquid. Santon's going to get a slight jump onto Light. He's going to get at least 2 procs through his Rake. But otherwise, not too much else out from Team Liquid here. Jensen on the opposite side of the map trying to fight for the objective at least. And Santorin, I think you're in some trouble here. Core JJ as well is going to stun and actually go back in onto eo120. But Core JJ is going down. This game is starting to feel a little over here. It's only a kill on to Light right now. But Jensen does not appear to really have used Destiny for a lot of proactive gamer moments. Whether it's like ganking in the early levels to, I don't know, just using your teleport to really like put like a global pressure on them over anything. Like Mountain Drake's about to be up, and I think Fiora is going to be a scary prospect for you, Jensen, because that gold card is going to be telegraphed enough for the repost, and you might find yourself a little skewered. Tactical about to have a problem. He's going to turn out and dodge a lot of everything else. The auto tech is going to have to be what finishes off here. Ali going to be gone in here by Santorin, trying to make the run for it. One more. Destiny's going to come in. Jensen's going to be able to flash. Oh my gosh, and the wildcard comes through, but the Lantern is going to save Ale, the little shield, and the movement out. And that is actually a play that TL really needed to make. And Ali's going to be able to get back, and it's going to get really scary here. Santorin trying to just sneak this dragon away. There's vision of this. LNG are on the backside of the pit right now, about to circle around, and I think they need to leave here. Santorin's going to have a lot of mobility to try to pull this off, but he's going to be all alone. Alfari forced to just teleport out. So this is not the kind of game we were hoping for from Team Liquid. He's going to be able to actually jump over, flash over as well. He's going to keep jumping the situation. He's going to have to find that sweet spot where he doesn't actually hit any turrets. He's going to get hit by 1, hit by 2. He is so low right now. He's going to keep the jump going. Icon's still trying to chase him. And I think he's going to finally get out. Right. And now this actually this goes into TL actually trying to secure the Herald before the Baron. But the Baron's here. Like TL's proactive plays in this game just feel so lackluster. This game feels like so in much of LNG's hands, and Alfari is like the only winning lane they really like had, but they never played around it. It's like Jensen never got prio in lane. Tactical and Core JJ were never gonna get prio in lane against the Aphelios, especially with like the green and red gun early on. Yeah, this is very weird here. They're making good counter map plays, but it's still like 4 turrets to 2. It's a 5,000 gold lead for LNG. And they haven't had to really fight for it much. 4 of those 6 kills have gone on to Icon, which is actually pretty nutty. It's pretty nutty that he's been able to get around and get more done than Jensen, who's running the TF. So this is a kind of a lackluster game. This is a lackluster performance out of Team Liquid in this so far. Trinity Force was finished up by Tactical not too long ago. He's on the Caulfield's Warhammer, probably about to finish up his tier item, get his Muramana in play. And that's why at least he'll start to put out decent damage. The problem is that just Aphelios' consistent damage is going to be such a much bigger problem in these fights. If, you know, Team Liquid basically op into team fights, which they kind of have a tendency to do anyway. Old habits die young for a lot of Team Liquid's team. All right, 5th turret picked up by LNG. And not much else for TL to do. Not too much else for TL to do. It's going to start actually blocking out. They're going to start blocking out. I think LNG is going to go back and grab some vision. But Baron's up. Baron's up. Light's at 2 items. They could probably get through the Baron with some ease, but they're going to back off right now. I'm pretty sure they're waiting on Light to grab his Infinity Edge. And then we're going to have a team fight situation. It's going to be pretty much on a fight actually to find the difference between him and the Fiora. Yeah. 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 So, but the good news actually is that TL has a primary engage with the Leona. Draco's pointing out, I guess, sort of maybe slight deficiencies for what engages can come out of perhaps his top lane. But Core JJ is on the Leona. He's got the Solar Flare. He's got the Zenith Blade. He's got his Flash Auto for the stun. Like, the engage from this team is coming out most likely from Core JJ. Jensen may, does have the option to run to do a Messiah play. I just would not anticipate that out of Jensen of all people. We're gonna have map movements across now. TL not in a position to really do anything or get anything accomplished. This is gonna be the 6th turret. This is all outer turrets destroyed by LNG here. We're at a 7,000 gold lead. It feels like nothing's really happened in this game. Like, yeah, 4 kills and 4 assists. Tarzan and Icon have been able to get some work done, but like this Santorin's invisible in this game, ironically. Like, he's on this Talon, going invisible is like part of his ultimate, but Santorin's been invisible this whole game. He's not been able to get anything done. Bot lane's at 2 items, but Tactical's not gonna be able to do anything until he hits 3 items, and even then, you're gonna want to really have a very pokey, standoff situation for Tactical to get a lot of value out of this Ezreal. Jensen's ultimates have been sort of following up or joining on fights or opportunities, but it's just not equaled into anything proactive. Like, now he's just gonna ult out, probably. Yeah, he's gonna teleport out. All right, so Jensen gets out of that alive, gets a little bit of pressure topside, but it just feels very it feels like it's such an AFK game for Team Liquid. I think they just really messed up when they did not secure priority in any of their major carry lines, specifically like in any of them. It could have been in top lane, it could have been mid lane, it could have been bot lane. They got no prio anywhere. And Tactical almost goes down to a combo from Icon. Thank goodness the chains never hit. I bet he was anticipating Tactical to try to like E away from the situation and just get bodied if that chain connected. That'd have been just a dead Tactical. Yep, now here comes the Baron. True Shekabrov gonna come through. It's gonna tag Tarzan. It's gonna tag Light as well, but he's gonna be able to heal up from this just fine. Green and White Gun is gonna be able to start really stacking some of these chakrams here. And there's gonna be another one. It's gonna get a decent amount of damage there on to Jensen, and that is a good amount of chakrams on Light. He wants to fight this right now. It's gonna hit. That's gonna get him another batch of chakrams. He's had to reset, so he's got one right now. One right now, trying to build him up again. Team Liquid kiting this fight out, trying to make sure they don't allow for Light and the rest of LNG to have the fight they want. But Tarzan's looking to try to actually get the catch here. His Shroud's coming through, and now here comes the surrounding. LNG trying to surround Team Liquid right now, and Team Liquid need to pick a direction and go for it. Santorin about to get blown up here. He's going to actually flash. It's not going to kill him. So flash from Icon to try to get the rest of that chain proc out. And now Santorin, he needs to look for somewhere to actually get the flash over. He's gonna get this. He's gonna smite off. But Tarzan is about to go down here. He's got to get the shield proc as well from the Sterix, and that's gonna be a dead jungler. TL looking to be able to secure their first dragon here. Overplay and misplay here by LNG. Icon has arrived, but TL need to find a way out of this Baron. LNG not gonna get this, and that's gonna be a huge gnarl from Alfari. They need to get the damage to check on here. Light's gonna get collapsed on here, but Tactical's gonna get blown up by Icon, and that fight is gonna get turned around by LNG. Great play there from Alfari, but there's just not enough to really help secure the rest of it. Core JJ going to get caught out here. Finished off by Ale. Triple kill for Ale on this Fiora. Who tells you that Fiora can't team fight? I do, and I was wrong. And this is actually going to look really rough here. 20 to 30 second death timers on Team Liquid. We're 26 minutes into this game. I think it's over. I think, yeah, LNG can finish off here. 4 strong here, light with plenty of damage and attack speed. Yeah, there's not much else for Jensen to do here. Trying to bait them out, trying to get them to push away. And I think he might have accomplished that. Might have given a little bit of breathing room for Team Liquid. It's a 9 to 10,000 gold lead, and they're looking at Baron right now too. They have yet to actually spend their gold, and that's going to be the destiny out from Jensen, just to spot what's happening, spot their map movements. He's going to come mid lane to try to actually catch this wave early and try to get it pushed out to buy Team Liquid some time. But this could be great. This is actually great. They killed the jungler, but that vision, Alfari calls for this. True Shot Barrage comes through. It doesn't actually hit anyone. It hits Iwandi, which is kind of really sad. Like, if that hits Light, he probably is dead by the end of this. All right, the shield bow comes out. But great call for a play there from Alfari. It just does not come through. There's not enough else to really follow that up. The damage on this team just feels so lackluster, and they're just so far behind in gold. Like, they need to be able to blow up Light there immediately to even have a chance to win that fight, I think. Now comes the Baron play. The Ward's going to spot this start. True Sharp Barge is going to come out as well. Tactical dies to Icon in mid lane. Apparently Icon's just lurking around, roaming around. It's going to be a hook on to Jensen. He's going to have to go golden here. Icon's just going to wait for it. Shane's going to come out here onto Santorin. Just going to blow up the jungler here. And that's going to be a double kill over for Light as well here. Now Alfari is going to try to run for it. Narbar building up. He might be able to get something done here. He's going to flash the chains. He still has his hop. He's going to get enraged. Nar into the wall into Tarzan. But that's going to be another ace. It's going to be the first ace, but it's going to be another major team fight win for LNG here. 11k gold ahead of Team Liquid. Team Liquid not able to get a word in edgewise in this match. LNG just grind it out, get their win. 15-1 is the scoreline, and there goes the Nexus. And now we've had everyone beat everyone in Group D so far. So this is actually a really interesting place to be if you're any fan of any team.